Why? Well, actually, they have been pimping, and that's the problem.
Oh, right. Isn't everyone tanking for some
Not
prospect?
everyone, but a decent amount of teams were tanking, and all the teams that were most of the teams that were tanking are better than half the league. So it's like, what is happening? You know?
Yeah, isn't it some crazy prospect or something I've heard of?
Mm-hmm. His name is Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. He kind of looks like me. You know, I was watching videos and
What?
stuff. I was like, you know,
Bro, that is
this
the,
guy.
Stop.
This guy kind of looks like
Stop
me.
Stop the cap.
I thought it was me for a
Yo,
second.
this guy looks like me for a second. Yo, that's me. I'm French in 7'4" bro.
Well, the way I piece up Kevin Durant and stuff, it's just it just gave me flashbacks to me.
We got a similar bag. Like, he just knows my game. It's crazy. It's wild.
Everyone's hustle looks a little bit different except for us two. We're on the same
Bro,
wavelength.
you can't use my own quote. You can't. Where'd I? Okay, I'll be right back. You can intro the podcast. I get my.
All right, welcome everyone to the newest episode of Waves on the Shore. Hope you enjoyed that little intro where we talk about sports for a little bit. We are waiting for, if you're listening, Jaron has gotten up for some mysterious reason. It looks like he's got a water bottle because he can't survive without it. I, on the other hand, am a masculine individual, a tough man, so I can survive. Jaron is not the same. So he's now back. He did not hear any of that. He's got his Lay's chips, and we are just going to talk about some country music. We've got
dill pickle lays.
Oh, those are that's a valid choice.
And,
that's a
and
very
it's
valid
party
choice.
size because
you're the life of the party.
My life is a movie, actually.
I literally said because you're the life of the party. You could have said anything because I bring the party. Because I
was
am the
gonna
party.
say that, but then you said it, so that I had to say something.
Exactly. So just leave it there. Agree.
No.
Well, I don't have any snacks, unfortunately. I have socks that I'm yet to take off the cardboard that are just awkwardly sitting here like that.
Huh?
That's all I have to offer. So we've got some stuff lined up, some music we're gonna talk about, some segments that you guys know, one of which we are doing, one of which
we aren't because Evan's freaking.
No. One of which due to poor communication.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. It was your turn. Okay, guys. I'm gonna give you. I'm not salty. Like, I'm actually not. But I literally do everything for the podcast.
Yeah. No, that's true. Like,
that is true.
I do the Overshore channel.
Yeah. Well,
I do the recording and stuff. You run the editing.
Yeah,
you do that stuff.
No. But the what I mean by everything is also like.
Who the
literally
frick?
literally every segment was my idea.
Well, that's because you didn't like mine. And it was my turn to do Who the Frick, and I completely forgot.
It wasn't. Evan. The thing is, Evan asked for this. Evan was like, "Oh yeah, I'll host every now and then." And then this man drops the ball. And he dropped the ball last time it was his turn. I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, that's not true. I think Jaden did it.
Jaden did
it. Yeah.
And then I said, "Oh, I'll do it next week," and then I forgot.
This might sound venomous though. I'm actually not salty. There's no hatred here. I'm just.
Yeah, because you better not go too hard, or that collab on the Overshore channel is still pending. So.
Bruh.
And all right, then who did that masterful Photoshop job to get us on the new profile
everything.
picture?
I don't literally do everything.
But you are the main system of the podcast. Everything kind of.
That's probably true.
You're like the CEO. It's your baby. It's your baby.
I mean, kind of. It's our baby.
It's our baby. I'm just an absent father.
You're the absent father. That's literally what I was about to say.
Jaron's the sweet tending mother, and I'm out in the fields working hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
and sometimes the baby just doesn't get fed for a little while.
No, No, I'm sorry. We have been consistent for over a year now.
Well, hold that. That's not what I mean by that. Is we're consistently inconsistent is what that meant. Is that it's almost every 7 days, but sometimes it's 10 days, and sometimes
then others
it's
4.
Yeah. In between uploads. So that's what I mean by that.
We record on a schedule.
Oh,
It's just-
kind of. It's supposed to be Tuesdays, but that
it
doesn't
never
really
ends
seem-
up being Tuesdays. It never
Well,
ends up being
that's 'cause-
Tuesdays.
I'm every week I try to do it on a Tuesday or a Monday. I think it was yesterday this week. And I will text Evan and say, "When can you record?" And then Evan will probably respond anywhere between 1 to 48 hours later.
He texted me on Tuesday, so
On
there was
Tuesday.
no way we could. I guess we could have done.
And that's not
Tuesday
true.
night.
He could have just said, "Let's do today." And
But what if I couldn't? What if I was busy?
that's what I'm saying. Then
'Cause
you
I was
probably
busy.
wouldn't have.
So I said,
maybe-
looking
maybe
at my
stop doing it.
schedule, I was like, "How's Thursday night?" And here we are on Thursday night recording. Look at us just beefing it out.
Yeah, we're just beefing it out on this.
This is a versus episode on the podcast.
What were you doing on Tuesday then? Huh? What were you doing on Tuesday?
What did I have on Tuesday? I worked, and there was something at night. What?
Beta
shoot.
excuse.
Then why can't we record in the mornings? That'd
'Cause
be
I
great
have
for me.
I have an actual job. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not
an
a shelf
actual
boy.
job.
Yeah, I
Jaron
educate
tends
youth
to the
of-
kids.
I
Jaron gets paid. Jaron gets paid to
Stop,
watch
don't-
kids.
don't-
Isn't that
do not-
nuts?
Okay, I thought you were gonna say something a lot worse.
He plays with kids and he gets paid to do it.
Stop. Stop. Don't clip that. Do not clip that. Whatever. On Tuesday, honestly, on Tuesday, though, I was getting over a cold, so I probably wouldn't have wanted to. I would have done it, but I wouldn't have wanted to. But I would have
Point
done
in
it.
case.
Anyway, what are we doing, man? What are we doing?
Before anyone, listeners or viewers, is worried, me and Jaron are not actually pissed at each other.
Yeah, we're
But
fine.
well, we have two albums we're gonna bring. Which one would we like to start with first?
I'll let you pick.
Let's go for Lainey Wilson first. We'll go for Lainey Wilson. These are two. So the two albums we're going to talk about today is Lainey Wilson and Gabe Lee. Both albums which I was very excited for, actually. Like with the pre-releases, and I mean Gabe Lee, I was interested in because bro has two albums, Honky Tonk Hell and Farmland, both which were fantastic in my opinion. Honky
Both
Tonk Hell's-
albums I've never heard before.
Oh, really? Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
you should absolutely check out Honky Tonk Hell. That was one
Yeah, I
of my
know.
favorite
I
albums of 2020.
Gabe Lee was one of those people that like I just have known about for a long time now and just haven't gotten around to him.
I love me some Gabe Lee. So when I saw the new album, I was like, that is something I can get on board with.
Evan is in love with Gabe Lee, actually.
Some would say, including my son. No.
Some would say that Evan is the gay.
Good one. Good rhyming scheme. Then the other album was Lainey Wilson. Another album I was very
also-
excited for based on pre-releases. What were you going to say there?
Well, they're technically. We'll see if we decide to cover it or not. We'll acknowledge it, and then we'll either just
What are we
not
acknowledging?
do anything with. Kaitlin Butts' new EP. Did you listen to that?
Oh, no, I didn't get to
It's
Kaitlin
extremely
Butts.
fire. Okay. And then what about Flatland Cavalry?
Oh, we could talk about Flatland.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I guess we'll talk about Flatland, and I will highly recommend the Sad Yeehaw Sessions by Kaitlin Butts. But
Well, we'll get to all four. You can do a little
Yeah,
segment
yeah,
on the Kaitlin
yeah,
Butts. So,
yeah.
first up, we're gonna kick it off with Lainey Wilson. Also, probably the biggest album that we have today. Lainey's really grown to be quite big, touring with John Party and whatnot. Did you see the video of John Party in like the bell bottom tights?
Yes, I saw that.
Bro, just another reason why this guy is the GOAT.
What's that one meme with the guy go? He's the goat. You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. Oh, I don't know what that's from, but I know the clip.
It's just from I don't even. It's just one of those like internet things that's
That you just
taken from
know.
something.
Yeah.
It's just this dude.
He's the GOAT.
He's the goat. He's the goat. And like it's like on Snapchat or something because the like somebody. There's like a little
Oh,
caption.
yeah.
This little caption that says, "Is this man okay? He's the goat."
Oh boy.
Okay.
But yeah,
Anything else?
John Party in bell bottom tights is the GOAT. But Lainey Wilson dropped a new album, Bell Bottom Country. I was very excited for it based on the pre-releases Watermelon Moonshine, Heart Like a Truck, Live Off. All three songs which I really, really enjoyed, including Watermelon Moonshine, which I'm starting to make my year-end lists now, and I was just making a massive list of all the top songs, and you can bet your butt Watermelon Moonshine is in that list.
How much is a butt worth? Are we
Well,
talking about like
mine?
Because butt.
Mine is priceless.
This cake. Let me tell you, that was the most. My butt. My butt's amazing. I'll tell you that. I'll let you know. Anyway, that was stupid, but well, the wine. Anyway, I was gonna make a wine joke because like a butt is a measurement of wine. Did you know that?
No.
Like, there's one butt or two, but it's like big. I think it's like
What
barrels
goofy
of wine.
person made that?
Somebody Canadian, I bet. I would bet $50.
Probably is. Why are we
Y'all
measuring
got
in butts?
freaking toques.
Bro
and,
said
like-
took.
I'm pretty sure I've done that before on the podcast too.
If anything, you call it like a toque, right? By how it's spelled. But it's toque. It makes no sense.
I don't know. Y'all the ones calling beanies the wrong thing.
It's a
Or
toque.
just call it a hat.
We say that too, but specifically it's a toque.
Where does that name come from? Do you know? Bro, we are
know.
just not talking about.
It's fine.
music.
We'll get to it. They know they're expecting this by now. But what is the meaning behind
Oh, we really gonna do this right now? Side
toque?
quest.
I'm
time.
curious now.
I am. I mean, I am. I asked the question because I was actually curious.
So the Canadian term was assimilated from the Canadian French word.
That's a
toque,
big word.
Spelt. So the French spelled it Tuque. We spell it Toque. So how that winds up being toque, I don't know. And first appeared in writing around 1870. The fashion is said to have originated with the coureurs de bois. De bois. It's literally coureurs de bois. That's amazing. French and Métis fur traders who kept their woolen nightcaps on for warmth during the winter days. That doesn't answer what the name toque means. Or well, oh wait, no, it's a French word. Never mind. Okay, so since
What's the
we're
French word, like, what does it mean?
toque. Oh, I don't know. Let me see.
So we just
Toque.
don't have an answer.
Meaning in French. Well, it just translated it to English and changed one letter of the spelling.
Bruh. So maybe
I'm
it
gonna
just
look up
means hat. Maybe it just means hat.
Toque meaning
Maybe a toque is a toque.
a small cap or bonnet, or is that bonnet? Bonnet having a narrow brim or no brim.
So it's literally just a
toque.
bastardized French word. It means the same thing.
Y'all are
Okay.
calling it beans, which is nuts. But
Huh?
anyways,
Not beans.
the Lainey Wilson album, Bell Bottom Country, came out. There are 14 songs. It is 49 minutes long. Jaron, how are you feeling about it? I've gone
think
through it
it's-
twice now.
I have listened to it more than twice, probably at least 3 or 4 times, I think. And it's good. I mean, it's more than solid, I would say. I think. I think its weakest moments are its more fun moments, if that makes sense. Like, there's a decent amount of songs on the album.
Yeah, no, that's fair, actually.
Where Lainey's just having fun. Like, Grease is a fun song, but like, it's like, it's just like
That's
I don't know how else to say that.
that's where I stand. I find I really like Lainey Wilson's sound, and going into this album with the releases Watermelon Moonshine, Hot Like a Truck, Live Off, I was very excited because it's not that I don't like the fun side of Lainey, but I much prefer the softer side, which granted is the case for a lot of artists, just for me personally, but
Yeah.
she has this very Eric
I guess it
Church.
depends on the genre, actually. But continue.
Yeah. She has this very fun, funky Eric Church twanging
Yeah, that's a good
vintage
comparison.
style.
Soul, Desperate Man, Eric Church. She kind of leans in
Yes.
that direction. But there's less of the weird Eric Church stuff like
Yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
wah, wah, like the
Less Playboy Cardi Eric Church, and
well, I think
is Eric Church a vamp?
I think in the Snake, Eric goes like wah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're
You
talking
know what I'm talking about?
So she kind of follows in those footsteps, which I
In
really
a less abrasive manner, I think. Yeah.
In what? Sorry.
In a less abrasive way. Like
Yeah,
it's
and
more digestible.
I like the fun Eric Church songs a lot.
But I also do. I am a Soul advocate. I think Soul's one of his best
Yeah.
albums.
But with Lainey, I find those fun moments. I don't know if they're too much. Maybe I think a lot of it sometimes they're a bit overproduced. I mean, there's a bit too much going on. It's a bit too loud. Maybe I'm trying to pinpoint it, but I don't really know the answer. When I listen through this album, when she goes soft on something like Weekend, what a fantastic song. I did like Hold My Halo, but then you got like Live Off, Watermelon Moonshine. These are the ones I'm liking. Whereas when you get to you go through the more fun moments. I mean, Hillbilly Hippie is a good opener and whatnot. And songs like Grease and stuff is fun. But I don't really care for them, and I don't quite know why. It just doesn't land with me. But I think they're good.
Yeah. I enjoy them. I like Grease.
Yeah.
Grease reminds me of a song on her last album called Dirty Looks. It has a similar sentiment. But Dirty Looks was a little bit more slow, and this one is a little bit more in your face, like, I want to have sex with that guy. That's pretty much, I mean, that's what both of those songs are, though.
Yeah.
It's there's a sweaty man who just got done working, and like this is literally like
coming from you, bro.
This
nuts.
But that's sorry. But it's true. That's what it is. Like Lainey
that is. She
Lainey,
gets her message across.
Yeah, but for some reason she really likes to make songs like that. Like whereas some people might
maybe that's why I don't get it. Or maybe that's why I don't like it as much, because it's just like
it's because we don't like men, you know.
Yeah,
well, except for Evan sometimes, but like
even then, like just generally
Evan's
like
got a picture of John Party in the Lainey Wilson bell bottoms.
Cardboard cutout question mark.
Hey, yo.
I just generally don't like the more like aggressive romantic songs from really anyone, because I'm just there like how am I supposed to receive this?
Yeah, okay, so actually
what am I supposed to feel?
Quick story time. So
story time. All right.
Last summer. Well, okay, I've had some semi-recent experiences with aggressive women. Not aggressive in the sense like, you know, like no fighting, you know, but like forward is a better way to put it. Forward.
Okay.
Aggressive
I'm very
romanticism.
intrigued to see where this
aggressive
goes.
Romanticism, not physically aggressive.
Not Chris Brown type beat.
I'll try not you know how I get, so I'll try not to talk about this too long. But last summer before I went to LCU, like 5 weeks before, girl that I went to high school with she's a grade above me, and she messages me on my birthday, and she's like, happy birthday, yada yada, and we talk a little bit, and then like in less than like 20 minutes, like we've messaged only like a couple times back and forth, she just leads with like, hey, I think you're really hot and I always had a crush on you in school. We should like it was just very forward, and I was like, wow. And the thing is, it's actually quite nice having someone be so upfront that you don't have to wonder what the motive is. There's no like does she, do they, like, you know, it's like she was like, this is it, and I was like, okay.
But no.
But how that ended out is, I wasn't entirely sure if I wanted to date this girl. Like, nothing against her. I thought she was, I don't know. I just didn't. It didn't feel right. And also, I was going to Illinois for college, so I was like, I don't really want to start something. And then, you know. And then there was another instance.
All my homies hate women.
There's another Another instance much more recently.
Oh, you told me this
Did
one.
Did I?
I think so.
27-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a. So just to set the stage, I won't get too into it because on the off chance that this was much more recent and she knows I have a podcast, on the off chance she listens to this, I'm not trying to like. But basically, me and this person had a brief interaction. We never actually spoke or like interacted directly, but we like were in the same room. And then, like 2 days later, somebody else that I vaguely knew, and they actually knew, they approached me and was like, hey, do you remember this person? They want your number. And I was like, okay, sure, I guess. and it was just a very forward, like, sometimes it's flattering, but also sometimes it's like, that's also a problem. I'm starting to learn that that's not really my style. The women that are that forward, maybe aren't for me. Anyway.
Wait, real quick, because I'm going to tell a funny story now. It's not about me, but my friend. This is just on the topic of all my homies hate women. My friend is an absolute champion, right? He is the most he's the laddiest of the lads.
He's a stud.
He's a complete stud.
He's a sick
And
male.
we are all very single up here in Canada. At least me and my friend group. And anyways, so a few years ago, a girl asked our buddy out. And anyways, his response, and I fully believe him, right? Like, none of us were there, obviously, but I fully believe this is what he said because this is just how he's built. He very straight up rejected her and said no, because then I would have less time with the boys.
That's...
You better believe we chanted lads when we heard about that.
Okay. On that, actually, that I actually told. Yeah, I did. I remember telling you this now. I told you last week. That's kind of that's partially what I said to the girl that had asked for my number through somebody else.
You wouldn't have time.
We'd been texting for a while, and I was like, I'm gonna be on. I don't want to lead you on. I'm not gonna have time for this. And you deserve to have that time.
See, my buddy didn't lay her down so poetically. He just said, I'd have less time with the boys.
Nah. It wasn't just for the boys. It was just work, podcast, YouTube channel, other stuff. It's like, I just...
Priorities. Women are not one.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
All right. So Lainey will... The point is, right, these aggressive, like, seductive songs.
Women gotta chill, is what we're saying.
Yeah, because
But also maybe don't.
I'm not big on that. I can't lie, because I don't... How am I supposed to listen to that song? Imagine being Lainey's, like, mom or something listening to that song.
Hey, yo.
Is that not weird? Like, is Lainey's mom gonna listen and just be like, hey, yo, Lainey, I really like this song.
I like the way how in Greece you talk about sex.
Like, I love the way in which you want this dude to just absolutely run.
Stop.
Okay.
Bro, we've stuck on this for a while.
We've been stuck too long. It's a very good album. Those Boots. Those Boots is a good song.
Okay, yeah.
I like the story on Those Boots.
I have a video going up relatively soon, in which I talk about the Gabe Lee and Lainey Wilson album. And within it, I actually talk about some of the similar things that we've already talked about, like with Grease. And these boots, Watermelon Sugar, Heart Like a Truck. I feel like there's one in particular that I'm not remembering.
Really?
I like Atta Girl.
Yeah.
A big reason why I like Atta Girl is because of like the use of the Atta.
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
She does some cool stuff with that, I think. And also Wildflowers and Wild Horses, I think is dope.
The Wildflower, that's a cool vibe. I will say, like, I think there's not really bad songs. I just think there's a few okay songs I don't really care for on the front, but as soon as you get to Heart Like a Truck, the whole back half is solid, and the front half is littered with great moments like Watermelon Moonshine, like Weekend. There's just some things in between that I'm like, I don't know if I'm as big about this.
I would say that I enjoyed all of them. I just have to, like, some of them are like just fun. Like I would compare them to
Yeah, they're just
like,
good.
Some
They're
Brothers
just good.
Osborne songs are just really fun, like kind of like upbeat, like
Mhm. There's no bad songs on the
not for
album at all.
everyone, like kind of like Not for Everyone with Brothers Osborne.
Yeah.
That makes it just fun. One that I want to point out, one of the more fun songs is a cover.
Yeah.
The
Oh
last
yeah. This
track.
is. Yeah. How did we not mention this? This is.
Well, song is amazing. But first off, I have another story. It's not really a story, but I have heard this song live performed by Lainey Wilson. I think this was the last song she played in her set before John Party came on stage. And I mean, I was not expecting it at all. Neither was Zach. And I was really, when this album came out, I was really not expecting it to be on the album. I thought it was just kind of like
her
John
thing
Party.
live.
John Party will sometimes do Metallica songs, but he doesn't have one on like his album, you know.
Yeah.
But, like, and he also has done Freebird, you know. But like, Lainey Wilson did that song. I was like, oh, it's just her doing a fun cover, because people cover other people's songs in concerts all the time. That's a normal thing to do. So I was not expecting. It was a pleasant surprise though, because I think it's a wonderfully done version.
It's really good. I remember when I was listening to it the first time, I just hit play and let it run. So often, like in the middle of the song, I what's this one called? Because it's not like I'm just listening to it like that. I just put it on and put my phone away. And this song started, and I never put two and two together like by the title when I saw it on the album. And then this starts playing, and I'm like, and then I look at the title, and I'm like, And then the chorus hits, and I'm just like, okay. And it's really well done. It's just not what I was expecting.
You just gotta kind of go like, okay.
It almost feels like the way I feel like Wildflowers and Wild Horses feels like a closer to me. So I almost feel like this feels like more of a bonus track. That does not. Okay. That's no dig to anything about it.
Yeah.
I just it feels like a bonus track, but I do not mind it one bit. I think it's a fun little thing at the end of the album.
Yeah, I think you're totally right about the bonus track thing. I also think that she totally could have just opened up the album with this track.
Yeah.
And then closed it with Wild Flowers and Wild Horses. That's probably what I would have done, but I'm not Lainey Wilson, and so my opinion does not matter. So, good album. I'm gonna give
Lainey Wilson, very good album.
What would I give it? I mean, gosh, I'm still getting over a cold, so I have some drainage. So if you hear me clearing my throat or anything, I'm sorry, audience. You'll have to deal with it. I really liked her album before this one, and I think I need to let this one age a little bit more before
I definitely do.
Because this is still like far from bad. I don't know, 7. I'll just go with a 7. I feel like I give everything a 7, but that's kind of like the good. That's the number that you give to a. I'm gonna hear it 7.25.
Woo!
That's what I'll do.
Getting specific.
7 1/4.
I don't know. I still want to review this album, but it's like it's getting a few weeks old and stuff. And there's a few videos I want to do.
That just sounds like an excuse to me.
It is an excuse completely, because I'm there like I want to review it, and then I sit down. I'm like, but it's been 2 weeks, but you haven't talked about it yet. So I need to listen to it more. Like I said, I've only gone through it like twice, and then like bits and pieces listened through. But I'd be leaning towards a 7. I don't know if it lands in the 8 category yet. But.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like most of the time when I was listening to it, I had the windows down because the weather. I don't know. Weather's probably been kind of similar.
Are you getting like crazy warm weather?
Yeah. It was like it'll peak at like 65, 70.
I was warm in shorts and a t-shirt today.
Yeah.
On November 10th.
I mean,
what?
I was outside recess with the kids today, and most days the past like 3 weeks, I say most because some days it'll go back to being like 40 degrees, but then it'll go back to like 65, 70. And it's like, bruh. But anyway, it's been nice enough.
It was 20 degrees the other day.
It's the 11th of
Fahrenheit.
Sorry.
Nuts.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's the 10th of November, and I was able to drive home with the windows down and not like be extremely comfortable, almost hot. You know, it's crazy. It's
weather's whack, man.
But anyway, what I was saying is,
get your paper straws. Global
my experience with this album. Listening to it, I was driving windows down, and I think it's it's a pretty good album for that because a lot of the songs have good energy. They're just fun, especially the first couple, like Roadrunner and
Oh yeah, Roadrunner's a good one.
whatever the opener is. I don't remember.
Hillbilly Hippie.
That's it. Yeah, solid album. Let's talk about Gabe Lee though.
Let's talk about him. So, the Hometown Kid, Gabe Lee's third album. He's really building quite an impressive discography, and I think he keeps that going. Although, maybe I just haven't had enough time with it. This might be my least favorite Gabe Lee album, which is not a dig to the album. I think it's still a good album, but and again, only listened through it twice, so more time is probably needed.
Sure.
But so far, I'm still taking Honky Tonk Hell in Farmland. I do wonder. I do wonder this, right? Where is my simple? What kind of guitar does he have? It's not even. It's like a weird cello-looking acoustic guitar.
A cello looking at. Wait, you're talking about the guitar that he's holding on the cover?
Farmland. No, on Farmland. It's this weird style guitar.
I think he's holding a classical guitar, but it kind of has the things like a violin.
Is it just a classical?
That's the forte kind of.
Well, I
think it's
where
just a classical.
Okay, we'll call it a classical. Where is the classical guitar ballad titled after a female? Because those always hit really hard. Eveline, Christine, Imogene. I mean, Imogene's a town. You got Emmy Lou, Susanna. Like those are the ones. And I was waiting. Like, what name's it gonna be? Like, bring me like Halle Berry. Bring me like Beyonce. And there's no name song on Hometown Kid.
This has a song called Halle Berry.
Honestly, the reason I went to that is because there's a Brent Faiyaz song about that.
What if it was similar? To Zach Brown's Swayze?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about. How does it go?
Do I know it? I can be your Tom Cruise. I'm Patrick Swayze. Shut up, man.
You left out a lyric, Evan. It goes, "I can be your Tom Cruise, bitch. I'm Patrick Swayze."
Well, I was trying to keep it PG for the kids at home.
I know, but I'm sorry, but it's funnier if you leave it.
It's so bad. That song is so bad.
I'm trying to imagine how he wrote it. He goes, "Oh, okay. How do I? Okay, I can be your Tom Cruise. Okay, comma. Okay, yeah, bitch. And then
put it in." You know the meme. You know the meme of like
record
Young Thug, like intensely at the mixing board like this. And he's like looking at the computer. No, not the one where he's bobbing. A picture of him where he's just like looking at the computer. Is that what Zach Brown was like making Swayze? He's like, right. So add a weird twist noise here,
he's in
bitch,
the lab.
and then a lot of auto tune. Yes, we got it, guys.
We got it.
This is gonna be my big like, look at me, I can do it solo moment.
Oh, I'm glad that he's not doing that.
I agree. But Gabe Lee. Like I was saying, I'm missing that. I think this album's still good. It's just not as great as his other ones. The recordings of these, Grady kind of touched on this in one of his videos where I think he talked about Rusty. The way they're recorded, it sounds live, which I don't actually hate. I kind of like that, but I don't think it makes for as intimate of a sound. Like, I don't think it sounds as intimate or direct. It feels like it doesn't feel like I'm the audience. It feels like I'm listening to it as he sings it to like a bunch of people.
So
Rusty's a good example. Everyone seems to be clinging to Buffalo Road. So Lonely was gonna be that nice guitar ballad that I listened to on repeat for like months because Gabe always comes around with one, whether it be like Imogene or Eveline. But I feel like Lonely kind of just doesn't build to all it could have been. I feel like he kind of leaves it. There's not much of a chorus where I think it could have gone really. I think there's a lot of directions he could have taken it, whereas it just kind of stays kind of flat for me. So I was like, oh, I was really liking where that song was headed. Again, still a good song, but not what it could have been. The Longer I Run, Hammer Down, that's a cool one. A
Okay,
good little
so-
like 2-song 7-minute. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Get your 2
No,
cents.
well, you're fine. I just have some. I do have some thoughts on some songs that you just named. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I found I'm like I said earlier, I actually haven't listened to his first 2 albums. I have heard Imogene. I have it in many playlists. I like Imogene a lot, but I have not. I forget. I think it autoplayed, and I was like, "This song is a banger." I'm still not gonna listen to the album. That's kind
I
of.
love that. I love that.
But yeah, I love Imogene. But okay, so where I found myself at is I think this album is really good, like just really good. Having not heard his first 2, so I don't really have that comparison. There's 12 tracks. I do think tracks 1 through 6 are not as good as 7 through 12.
I was gonna say when you divide it in half, I was like, I'm a back half man,
because the first time I listened, I remember being in the car and like I enjoyed the first 6 songs, but once I hit Lonely, I really like Lonely a lot.
I feel like that's where it
And then-
started connecting for me.
And I really like One of These Days, and Longer I Run and Hammer Down is probably my favorite track on the album. Like no cap, for real, on God, bro.
I love that. Real quick, I love that Gabe made like 8-minute 2-in-1 song. Like you see that quite a bit over in like hip hop or R&B, I find. Like The Weeknd did it so much on his older stuff. Most of his songs are like 8 minutes long. Or you could be Tory Lanez and somehow have like 3 songs, but it's only 2 minutes long, and you're like, right, so how did that, huh? But I like that we have like an 8-minute folky country banger from Gabe Lee, 2-in-1. I like that.
The first half, so Longer I Run. Actually, I actually posted on my story about it as to why I liked it so much. It reminds me a lot of the album as a whole, Gene Leon by Micah Edwards, which I brought on the podcast.
Good comparison.
I think within the past couple months, and it's mostly
real quick.
Yeah.
I apologize, anyone, if you're hearing what's going on. There's like a stampede going on above me. I don't know what's going on. It sounds like all of my family members have strapped bricks to their feet and decided to race above my room. So I apologize. I'm going to go mute and unmute, and I apologize if you hear anything.
Okay, make sure we don't mess up the muting.
Yes, my mouse is on the thing. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, Longer I Run. A lot of it is in the instrumentation. It leans into kind of like, it isn't a gospel song, and it's not quite a soul song, but it leans heavily in that kind of.
It goes there.
Yeah, it leans heavily in that vibe, and I really, really liked it. And Gene Leon, that whole album is kind of like, that is the Longer I Run vibe kind of bottled up, and so I really like it. It also reminds me of like there's one note, I think, when he sings like the word trouble in Longer I Run. Gabe kind of sounds a little bit like an old singer, like maybe like Sam Cooke or something, like something that you'd hear in like a 60s diner, a song that you'd play like some old Motown. And I'm listening to it right now, and it's just so good. It's so good. And there's also some violin, but it sounds like you're listening.
That's one thing that actually, when the strings came in, I was in my car and I was like, the strings are hitting.
Yeah,
the strings is hitting. I love me some strings.
It sounds like you're listening to an old record, but it's one of those old records that it's one of the songs off the record that your grandpa put on, but it's the one that's fire. It's the one that you're on and you're like, oh, okay, I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is. But they're from the 40s, and it's really good.
And it's hitting.
Yeah, it's Longer I Run is honestly my favorite on here. Just because I was not expecting it, and I got it, and I was like, this is amazing. And then Never Rained Again, I also very enjoy. I know that's not proper.
Yeah, no, the album gets better as it goes.
So Never Rained Again, I don't know if this happened to you. Every time I've listened to it at least 3 times now, this album, and every time Never End Again came on, and especially the first time, I was like, what is this? The beginning, the first guitar, those first couple strums of guitar, those first chords, I was like, what does that remind me of? And it sounds very similar to the beginning of Somebody's Problem by Morgan Wallen. It's not the same song. It very quickly switches up, but it's that first like 2 seconds of the song where I'm like, what is that? And then I don't know.
Now
if
that you're saying that, I think I remember when I heard the song, I remember thinking this sounds like something, but I never thought enough to put it together.
No, it bothered me. I was in a car while I was listening to it, so I literally just sat there and was like, what is the it was all I thought about for like a whole minute, and then it hit me. But that being said, like that doesn't. It's a very different song from Somebody's
Yeah,
Problem.
no, it's not. It's a.
Yeah.
It's just the first.
And
section.
I actually made a joke about Angel Band in my YouTube video because I was like, oh, this is such a good song. And then I made a joke about Tyler Childers because like Angel Band.
Yeah.
And I was like, Tyler
How many
Childers.
songs named Angel Band are going to come on?
Yeah. And his Gabe Lee's version of Angel Band, I like a lot because it just seems like he's having fun on it. And I'm having fun.
Let me join the Angel Band.
I like he's just like, he wants to, if there's a band up there, he wants to join it. I like that kind of.
There's a honky tonk in heaven.
Oh, that's actually.
I'll be there.
What's the? It's actually kind of a similar sentiment towards what the song Heaven's Jukebox. Who is that? It's like
Jaden Hamilton.
Yeah.
That
was low key one of my favorite songs from last year.
Oh, that's such a banger. That was such a banger.
It was.
My grandma loves that song. I sent it to my grandma and she loved it.
Shout out to Evan's grandma.
No, my grandma's a G. Actually, my grandma showed me the album I'm bringing for What Are We Listening to.
The way you said that, I'm imagining your grandma wearing a do-rag.
Bro, how do you know she doesn't?
I have a do-rag. You want me to go get it?
Give it to my... Well, no, my grandma doesn't need it. She already wears one. Grandma pulling up to the function, to the family function.
Pulling up to the function. The way you say... Who says the word function? Who says that? Evan...
Have you never heard that?
No, I've heard it, but like who? Like I don't say I'm pulling up to the family function. You know, like I don't.
My
say
grandma
that.
says it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Old people. Yeah.
She comes strapped and everything.
Okay. She's
got that American gun license. She got Canada.
The blicky in her waistband.
Don't touch this Glock. It gets cocky. Actually, you know what? I just realized my grandma listens to this. So, grandma.
Wait, what?
Hi, grandma.
Every episode?
I don't know, but I know she knows it's there. So, grandma, if you are listening to this, shout out and get your do-rag.
Evan's grandma, I'm sorry. I don't use bad language a lot, but like if I know I've done it, and I've already done it once on this episode. So, like, if that's not if that's not how you roll, I sincerely apologize. But that being said, it will happen in the future.
I don't even know if she knows it's there. So,
right. Well, has she ever told you that, like, hey, you can listen to this? Like, has she? Or I do listen to it. That's what I meant to say. Has she ever told you that? Do you know?
She watches the videos. I don't know how much she listens to the podcast.
Okay. Well, the podcasts are a commitment, but you should be like, hey, granny. Okay, don't do that. Sorry. You should just like kind of be like, hey, you can throw this on while you're. What does your grandma do? Does she knit? Old people my step grandma like just does puzzles all day. So it's like what do you?
She cooks a lot.
Oh, just tell her to throw it on while she's cooking.
So the same day she showed me the album I'm bringing for What Are We Listening to, I showed her on Apple Music. I showed her personal radio station, which is a radio station made. Every Apple user has like a radio. It's just like a recommended
based off
list,
of what you listen to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell you what's coming next until it shows up. So, anyways, I showed her that, and she put that on while we were cooking. and she knew like all the songs that were coming on. It's all these like 1960s songs and then like a
Oh,
Toby
okay.
Keith song or something. And she's like, "Oh, Evan, I love it because I don't know what song's coming next, but I know I'm gonna like it." And she said that like 5 times, and I was
That's
like, "Yep."
amazing. How old is your grandma?
73.
Oh, okay. Only she's literally. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that kind of makes me sad because not like the only reason I'm not trying to get like my dad is like 64, so it's like
Yeah.
getting up there, man.
I'm
Like,
53. It's
The times
nuts.
they are a changing. Life moves on.
I can almost buy alcohol
I can buy alcohol.
in the States, which is you're old.
I drink it.
I am almost legal in Canada. I'm legal in Quebec, Alberta,
Hey, ladies,
Manitoba,
Evan's legal in
Saskatchewan. Not ladies. Alcohol. Hey, alcohol.
Well,
I'm
but
legal.
like no, but you would be able to buy them alcohol, you know, because you're at the local pub. What do you guys? Do you guys have a special name for a bar or a pub?
Bar.
You just call it a bar. I didn't know
Or
if you
anything
called
like
it
a brewer or something.
It's kind of like how British people call like a light switch a flinky dinkle flipper
What?
flipper switcher, or like a no that they don't actually do that.
Eavesdrop.
That was a
Pencil
joke.
crayons. Pencil
That's a-
crayons.
That's what I'm saying. They do pencil crayons, or they call a
Crayons,
cantaloupe,
by the way.
they call a cantaloupe a rock melon.
We don't.
Imagine
cantaloupe.
that's what that joke is from. So they were like, did you know British people call a cantaloupe a rock melon? And they were like, what's next? Are they gonna call a light switch a flippy whippy dingle switcher or something like that? Like, cause you flip it or something. It's so stupid. British.
A flip flap?
Joe's listening to this and he's like, come on, guys.
We do spell bar with a U. BAUR. Like
What?
sports bar.
Why y'all gotta why y'all gotta be so extra? Why y'all doing that?
We don't actually.
Okay, I was gonna say I feel like that's not true.
But most of our words we do sneak a U into.
Yeah, favorite,
Honor, color,
armor.
armor, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about Gabe Lee at one point
Yeah.
in time.
Let's just score it. It's really good. I think it's better than the Lainey Wilson album. I will say that.
You know what? I might agree.
Never Rained Again. Okay.
Is this motivating you to check out the other Gabe albums? Because they are fantastic.
I will eventually. Probably not soon.
They are fantastic.
Maybe it is. I did just save them. Like, I just saved them to listen to them soon. So
I would say start with Honky Tonk Hell. I think it's the most.
I think I'm probably gonna start with this first one and then go to Honky Tonk Hell, just because
If you're gonna listen to both, then yeah, just go in order. But if you're only gonna,
I'm
check
going
out
to do
one,
both.
Honky Tonk Hell. All right. Well, so Flatland
gonna give
Cavalry, rating.
I want to rate it. I want to.
I don't have a rating yet, so this is all you, Chief.
Just because the last 6 tracks are so good. Like, if this was just an EP with those 6 tracks, it would be a 10 out of 10. Like, actually.
Okay.
And because the first 6 tracks I like slightly less, I'll give it a 9. That's how much I like the second half.
All right. Jaron likes the Gabe Lee album, giving it a 9.
It's really good, really well written. I really like when Gabe, on a couple songs, he like kind of. It's like he almost left imperfections in it, like in the way he delivers some things. Like
He
not
has a
always
very
perfect.
playful delivery. He has a very imperfect, a very human delivery. He's not trying to gloss it up.
I like
it's very
that, so.
straightforward.
And
We
it's
love
all
that.
really well written, I think. So
You're always gonna get that from Gabe Lee. That's the fun part.
yeah.
So, Gabe Lee album, very good. So far, we're only talking about good music today because next up
That's
is
true.
the
That's true.
Flatland Cavalry EP, songs to keep you warm. I will admit, I've only listened through this once so far, so I don't have crazy detailed thoughts. I listened to it while I was tidying up my room, and I was like, "Yep, that is a darn good Flatland Cavalry EP. Ticks all the boxes. It's got beautiful harmony, simple homegrown instrumentation, some good, simple, delightful, pleasant writing. And all the songs are just very. I like the Kaitlin Butts feature on How Long. If We Said Goodbye, at least on Apple, seems to be the one that's taking off. And I also, that was the one that I remember liking the most as well.
That is also the one that I like the most.
Darn
but
good
they're all
EP.
good.
If you have some more detailed thoughts.
Yeah, I do have some more detailed thoughts because I have listened to this many, many times actually, like probably more than 5. This is an awesome EP, especially because I feel like, and I found the best. This is kind of the best way for me to kind of think of this EP or approach it or whatever. It's like you take the run. There's 3 songs on their last album called Welcome to Countryland. Track 9, so Tilt Your Chair Back, Fallen Star, and Daydreamer. Those 3 songs.
Such a fantastic.
If you take the vibe, like if you took those songs and then bottled up, squeezed them, wrung them out, bottled up the essence, and then made another EP
Doubled it.
with that. Yeah, and then made more with it. This whole EP is that kind of vibe, like kind of melancholy, chill.
It's songs to keep you warm. It's like songs you would listen to around like a campfire. Or something.
Yeah, and I think it's a good title, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's cinematic. I don't know if cinematic or maybe atmospheric.
I feel like cinematic implies like grand and big, whereas this is much more like.
I'm not in the same way that like maybe. I feel like we've probably used that word to describe another album, and I can't think of another album right now. But maybe
it's
like,
not cinematic as much as it is just like. But it kind of depends what.
The reason I said
about.
cinematic is because I'm thinking like.
I know what you're trying to say. I'm trying to think of a word that. But I know exactly what you mean.
What I'm picturing is like you're out in the middle of nowhere, just like you and like some of your friends or whatever.
The boys.
But it's like literally like you're out. It's like at night, campfire, got a guitar out, and like you can actually like there's no light pollution, so you can see the stars. That's kind of what I mean. Everything's beautiful, and everything sounds beautiful. Everything is like just peaceful and like,
basically
right with the
Canada.
world.
You're in Canada.
Well, there's parts of the U.S. that are like that too. Chief.
Yeah, the parts near Canada.
That's not. No, that is it. Literally, where these people are from is not near Canada, and they have this.
What do you mean? Flatland Cavalry is literally like on the border of Alberta. This
Guys,
guy.
Evan is literally stupid. So, and I want you to tell him that. I want you to DM him and tell him you're a big fat dumb idiot. Just say that.
Honestly, if you're at this point in the podcast, you made it this far, actually send me that. It'd be really funny.
Hannah, I'm looking at you. What was I saying now? It's just really good. Like, more in depth. Yeah, If We Said Goodbye is my favorite. Parallel is awesome with Ashley Monroe. My only complaint, and I touch on this in my video that went live on my YouTube channel today, actually. Like my true, like only complaint with this EP is that I feel like Ashley Monroe should have more of a spotlight on Parallel. I think most of the time I don't really like it when like artists feature other artists and then the featured artist is just like a backing vocal.
Cough.
I can hear Ashley
does
Monroe.
To me.
Yeah.
I haven't forgiven Luke for that.
But but even Eric Church does sing on his own at one point.
That's fair. But I mean, what was the one Chris Stapleton was on that he was just a background vocalist for?
Was it a Kaylee Hammock song? Was it that one?
Oh yeah, he did that. There's another example I'm thinking of. Maybe
but I feel, but his voice is so. Oh, you're talking about the Morgan Wallen song. Is that it? Morgan Wallen?
No.
Both of those songs fit your criteria, so I don't.
I don't know, man. Look. I don't know.
Only thing that's gone, Chris Stapleton does not have his own verse. I promise you, and that is a Morgan Wallen song. So
I know, but maybe I was thinking of that. I don't know,
guys. Like I said, message Evan. Just let him know. Let him have it. But yeah, I will compare this really quickly because I have to Come May, because Come May is quite possibly my favorite EP ever, and I think it is kind of perfect. Because the thing about EPs, I almost like EPs more than albums because they're shorter, and I feel like generally a really good EP is better than a really good album. And the reason I think that is because it's more concise, and so, and if done well, done right, you can have like 4 really good songs, whereas on an album you might have 4 really good songs and then like 6 other pretty okay songs, if that makes sense. And I think Come May is like 5 perfect songs. And I would also put like Leanna by Randall King kind of in that category. I think that EP is amazing. And I think this one is close, but I think it's maybe like 2 songs too long for me. Like if it was only 4.
This one's 2.
Huh?
Sorry, you said this one's 2 songs too long?
Maybe. Like, I don't...
Which ones would you cut?
Probably Damaged Goods. And... maybe How Long with Kaitlin Butts. One of the ones with the features. Because they're not bad songs. It's just, when I have an EP... I'm still going to listen to this. Like, I'm not... This is still really good. Like, just really good. But if I were to, I would probably do Damaged Goods, and then maybe I would leave the 5, but if I was going to do another one, it'd be one of the ones with a feature. I just think they're not as good as the last 2 and the first one. Mountain Song, If We Said Goodbye, and Show Me Now Which Way to Go are, for me,
Beauties.
the best ones. Yeah.
Beauties.
I know a lot of people really like Parallel with Ashley Monroe. I think the reason I don't like it is just I wish Ashley Monroe had her spotlight. And that every time I listen to it, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. But yeah, it's really good. I would give Come May like a 10 out of 10, so I'd probably give this like an 8.5.
All right.
As far as EPs go. Because I feel like I look at EPs differently than albums.
Well, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Now, did you really quickly, Kaitlin Butts is on this EP, did you really quickly want to strongly recommend the Kaitlin Butts EP? I haven't got to it yet.
Okay, yeah, the Sad Yeehaw Sessions by Kaitlin Butts literally came out like 3 days ago, I think, or 4 days ago. Just kind of like, she just kind of dropped it. And this thing is... sheesh, it's good. It's really good. And it's only 5 songs, and I do think every single song on this album is like, I was talking about EPs and I didn't bring up Sad Bird by Gracie York. That's an 11 out of 10 EP. Freaking, if I could marry an EP, I would. If an EP was a person, I would marry it. But yeah, and the reason I wanted to bring that one up is because Sad Yeehaw Sessions reminds me a lot of Sad Bird, because it's an acoustic stripped back EP. Everything is just an acoustic guitar. And then I think the cover of Whiskey Lullaby, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, I did hear that. I think the
cover of Whiskey Lullaby is... Oh, I didn't... Dadgummit, sorry. I'm trying to get to the...
Dadgummit.
There might be violin in it. Or it's just 2 guitars, I think. Or no, maybe it's a... I think maybe somebody's using a slide on a guitar. There's at least 2 guitars going on. Anyway, It's all really good. Like, it's just really good. Angels Like You, I really like. Hold You Down. One More Girl. I think this one feels... just like ever so slightly tighter than the Flatland Cavalry EP. I would maybe be inclined to take it over that one. It depends on the mood I'm in, because this one is sad. Like, it's called the Sad Yeehaw Sessions. It is actually a little bit more sad than the Flatland Cavalry one. The Flatland Cavalry EP is a little bit more melancholy. I can't talk. And maybe more reminiscent. Maybe that's a good word for it. And this one is just more somber and almost demeaning sometimes. Because, like, the first track is called Angels Like You, and she's basically saying, the person, I don't know if it's literally Kate, I can't talk. I'm getting too tired. I said Kate.
Bro's not Englishing.
Yeah. I don't know if she's talking about herself there, but she's basically saying, like, you're an angel, I don't deserve you. Like, that kind of thing. Like, I'm not good enough. And she has a version of Blood, which was on her album that came out earlier this year, right? What else can she do? Yeah, Blood was on that.
Mm-hmm.
She has a stripped back version of Blood, which I actually think I like more than the original. It really surprised me. It's really good. They're just all really good. Hold You Down and One More Girl are the other two songs that I haven't touched on. Really good. And I think maybe my favorite thing about the Flatland Cavalry being on Whiskey Lullaby with Kaitlin Butts is that Cleto doing Brad's part is like just really, it's really cool to see somebody else do it, but also he has such a different voice from like literally anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I like his delivery a lot. I just it's cool because he just does it differently. The first couple times I listened to Whiskey Lullaby on this EP, it was a little jarring because I'm used to Alison Krauss's voice, and her voice is very distinct. And I'm not going to sit here and say that this version is better, but I'm also not going to... This is probably maybe the best cover that will ever be done of this song.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it was pretty... I heard it, and I think it's because it's such an iconic song, and we're so used to it from Brad and Allison that's the version you fall in love with. So it's hard for someone to come along.
Has anybody
you
else
can't
ever
recreate
covered
that
this
magic.
Song? Like,
I don't know about officially. I'm sure there have been some. But this is the only one I can think of recently that's like an official release.
Yeah. I love it, man. Whiskey Lullaby was and still is just one of my favorite songs ever. I remember when I first discovered it, and I just like listened to it over and over and over and over again. I remember one time. Gosh. Sorry. I'm still super congested. My sister is over at our house, and we were making food in the kitchen, and this song came on in my playlist, and she was like, "Why are we listening to really depressing music?"
Because it's like, good music.
And I was like, "This is peak. This is peak.
This is as good as it gets, darling.
This is as good as it gets, Olivia. Okay, this is as good as it gets." But I was like, "Fine." So I turned it off.
Went back to Despacito.
No, she does not. No, it's more like went back to my Disney princess song playlist, like Disney song playlist, because she loves
whack.
Disney songs.
That's whack. She don't deserve Ox.
Also, I'm pretty sure at the end of their version of Whiskey Lullaby, they do an extra la 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 la. I think. I could be wrong.
I'd have to go check. So we've determined the fact that Olivia does not deserve Ox, but you know who does? Myself and Jaron.
Mm-hmm.
And today we are going to bring you even more music that we have currently had consistently on the Ox. Jaron still doesn't know his table manners at 21 years of age. However,
I hiccup and then burped, and it's just I'm making all kinds of noises.
Jaron, the people want to know.
Okay.
The people want to know.
Okay.
What are you listening to?
This gets real hype all of a sudden. I'm gonna say I'm listening to two things. Maybe cheat a little bit, but I won't. I'll try not to talk about them for too long. Back towards the beginning of this podcast, when we right when we started getting real consistent with it, I brought Betcha on the podcast, and I think so did Evan, because I posted a song on my story, and Evan was like, "I like that." And then,
no, I love that Betcha EP.
It's really good. But they had an EP that came out earlier this year called Jaded with only 4 songs. This would also be up there with like this is a 4-song EP with just like all certified bangers. Like that's all I need in my life, because like if we're being honest, most albums that we get, we'll come away with like 3 or 4 songs, and the rest of them will be like, and like with an EP, you only get the cream of the crop, and I think that's why I like EPs so much sometimes, like the good ones. But anyway, this EP is called Jaded. I don't know if I said that. 4 songs. They're all good. Like, they're just all good.
Rumor has it it's about fellow ex-co-host Jaded.
It's not.
All the songs are about Jaded. That's nuts.
I don't even, like, it's hard for me to pick a favorite because every time I listen to this, I'm like, these are just all bangers. I will say, it leans a little bit more into, like, it kind of just leans more rock than their other EP did. Like all four of the songs are just kind of more rock. But they're not like, it's not like screaming or anything like that. So if rock without the screaming is something that you enjoy, I would recommend that. And then my other thing would be, I think I've talked about Sam Williams before on this podcast. Yep. He came out with an extended version. Right?
It was like a deluxe, or sorry,
it's basically a deluxe, but he instead of calling it a deluxe, he actually did a creative thing and like gave it a subtitle. So it's called Glasshouse Children: Tilted Crown. And he added 6.
Sounds theatrical.
6. Yeah, he added 6. I actually think he's a very theatrical person. He is
from the promotional images I've seen.
Yeah. I follow him on Instagram too. He just he wears a lot of flashy clothes, and yeah, he wild. He added 6 songs to this, and I think they're all good. Except, well, he has a remix of
One
Wild
Reeks.
Girl. No, it's not like bad. It's just I just thought it was interesting. It's not better than the original, but it's not like the worst thing I've ever heard. But if you liked Glasshouse Children, or if you haven't listened to it, I would recommend listening to it. Because it would have been on a top 10 list last year if I had discovered it
earlier.
But I didn't. So
that's how
it gets a big honorable mention. It would have been high on that list. I really like this album. But I'll stop talking. What are you listening to, Evan?
So I'm listening to one my grandma showed me because it came on her radio thing. She's like, oh, this was a fantastic album. So she showed it to me. And it is apparently one of the best-selling albums of all time, which made me wonder, how have I never heard of a single song of this artist or of this album or seen this album cover at all? I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It has sold over 25 million copies worldwide. It is from 1971. It is Carole King's Tapestry. I don't know if you're familiar. I'm only asking because apparently it's one of the greatest selling albums of all time. And I had no clue what it was until it came on. She's like, oh, this is a fantastic album. And my grandma was like, hey, yo, you should check this out. And I was like, I think I will. And it's like, well, it's like 1971, like singer-songwriter, folky, hippie, pop, old school music. Sure. And I kind of just vibe with it. And when you look at the album cover, she's sitting there.
Apology accepted.
What?
You said you're sorry. I was just accepting your apology.
This guy.
It's okay. You don't have to be grateful or anything.
Well, I'm not. When you look at the album cover, and she's sitting there barefoot in her jeans and a cozy sweater, sitting by the windowsill.
Evan got a thing for feet?
No. Apparently, she played all of her shows barefoot, you know, which is kind of weird.
Sorry, you said no.
No.
the firm no.
However, when you look at the album cover, that is how I feel when I'm listening to this.
Hey guys, send Evan feet pics.
Let's not do that. Let's not. You will get blocked. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm just making like a nice coffee. I kind of feel like a mom.
I keep interrupting you, mom. But I want you to know that sometime within the next week, I'm just going to send you a fat pic of my big toe.
This guy's 21, man.
What does that have to do with it?
A lack of maturity. A lack of development.
All right. Okay, let's not.
Carole
personally
King
attack
album
me.
Tapestry, one of the
I
best
just like to
albums,
have
one of the
fun,
best-selling albums
okay?
of all time. Is good album. I checked it out. Thank you, Grandma, for the
Is
suggestion. I
good
like
album.
it. And
Good
she
music.
talks about shooting up a church on Smackwater Jack, which is a bit weird. Even my
I'd say that's more than weird. I'd say that's big sus. That's biggie sus.
It's a story
Hey, yo.
song. It's a story song.
Yeah,
But it's funny
yeah,
because
okay.
my grandma were in the kitchen cooking, and that line comes through. She's like, "Oh, I forgot this song says that." She's like, "I guess that's not really appropriate anymore." Not that shooting up a church is
Not
ever
that it ever was. Okay.
but
Anymore. Hey yo,
it's just,
Granny,
like-
what you been up to? Anymore.
maybe with the climate of the world, you wouldn't write a song about that anymore.
Yeah.
But
You never know.
just a banger album, really. Just it's a vibe. It's a vibe. When you put it on, and you're in a certain element for how long is it? 45 minutes. You're in an element for 45
Yeah,
minutes.
you know that. No, I'm not even gonna say that. Actually, never mind.
Mm.
I'm not gonna say that. We're not doing who the frick because
I
Evan
dropped the ball.
and
We're not doing the frick.
and I
We'll-
could have
I
done
will
it,
do it
but
next
Evan
week.
didn't respond to me. And
I was
like,
in
and
my
I was like-
defense, I was out for dinner. And as a polite person at dinner, I was not on my phone.
you weren't on your phone at all. Not
No.
even like you didn't even check the weather and see that you had a text from me. You didn't like just a
No,
little
I
bit?
literally just did not use my phone.
No, I get that though. Sometimes I go for a while without checking my phone. But like just give you a pass. No. I would have done it. I would have done it if Evan had responded.
I'm going
to
to
me.
do Who the Frick next week. In fact, I'm going to prepare it right when we stop this.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's
well,
done and out of the
look
way.
at you- Look at you go. Look at you.
I'm just that A-type person.
All right, shut up. I'm just that A-type person. All right. Okay.
I'm
is
just
this
that
the end?
elite
Are we at the
subspecies.
end? Is this the end?
We're at the end.
It's the end of the world as we know it.